他不会 very obvious, right? 他就是不喜欢一件东西，他也会说 it's interesting. At first, before, I really thought they mean they think it's interesting. No, whenever they say it's interesting means they don't like it. 所以面试的时候，你一定要就是他们是 very subtle. You need to get it.
When asking experience questions, there's no right or wrong answer. We're asking these questions to learn what type of teammate this candidate might be, what their strengths and weaknesses are as far as how they would behave on an actual case. And so we want to be careful here, not just to say what is the best answer, but really more importantly, what are we learning from the answer? What are we learning about the person?
One good example for you. When I was working at Goldman Sachs, we were putting together a book for an IPO that needed to go out.
Okay.
And so this was going to be presented to a few analysts, and the deadline was 3 weeks away. Plenty of time. We all felt very good about that. We found out that they had to move the deadline up a week, and so we had 2 weeks to finish the rest of our work, which you can imagine was quite stressful for all that were involved.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, it was sort of sheer panic in the group. I was very surprised that folks didn't know where to focus their energy. There was no sort of game plan. And so I was able to say, these are the spreadsheets that need to get done. These are the processes we need to be in place. These are our end goals. And so kind of get the team going. And then it was just all about pulling all-nighters, putting my head down, getting that work done. And I think that I really contributed to it being a success.
I don't think so. I think she totally failed. Why? Because this is more about project management. There's nothing analytical about it.
She talks about being a hard worker. And she defines being at her best as when she was able to push through things, which is great. We certainly want hard workers at Bain & Company. But note that she doesn't talk about a truly analytical achievement. It raises this question, which is she may be somebody who really pushes through, but she hasn't given us an indication that she demonstrates being at her best as being smart or analytical. So not a fatal flaw, but just something we want to check on.
For business school, I was working at Johnson & Johnson, specifically on their cough syrup brand.
Okay.
And so they had traditionally only sold a 4-ounce size. And I started thinking about cough syrup and the different SKUs that we actually provide. And I wondered whether or not it made sense for actually us to move into the 8-ounce size as well, to have a larger product for people, especially thinking about a family, right, who multiple people might be sick. They probably need more than a 4-ounce product. Mm-hmm. So I started running some analyses. I did some sensitivity analyses. I collected all the data that I could and looked at what competitors are actually doing. And it turns out that I found there was a very strong potential in this market. So I came back and I pitched the idea to both the sales team and the brand team, and they were very positive about it. And they actually gave me the go-ahead to set up a test and run a pilot. And the pilot was very successful, and we've actually now rolled out an 8-ounce cough syrup brand, and it's been very successful today, and I actually always buy it when I get sick.
This is very, very good, actually. What I like about it is that she presented a solution that's backed up by analysis, and then she remember I told you like the closed loop analysis, how the product team was able to implement what she proposed. So this is very good.
I think the example I'll talk about was back actually when I was an undergrad.
Okay.
And I was taking a programming class, and I'm not a CS major, I'm not a math major, so this is pretty tricky and pretty challenging for me. So we had to write a program where actually you had to calculate all of the prime numbers between 1 million and 2 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So it was pretty complicated. I was really nervous about it, lost sleep a little bit. And then I sort of sat down and was able to figure it out and wrote the program. And not only that, I got the best grade in the class. And I was just really proud of that in the end because it's not something that necessarily I was focused on or majoring in, but I was still able to succeed.
Well, she's answered the question. It does start to raise questions, which is she theoretical? Is she somebody who is just very analytical? And is that really when she's at her best? She took our question literally, analytical achievement she was most proud of, and clearly designing this computer program was a very difficult challenge. But it's not really applicable to the real world.
我有太多的中国学生，特别他们就觉得建模啊，我建模多厉害，建模不厉害，那模又不是你造的 ，right? It's not, right? It's analytical. It's closed loop analysis.
I also wonder with Jen that is this something that she thinks of was a rarity that she saw this computer program, or is this how she normally is? Answer number 2, the cough syrup, the new SKU of cough syrup, is the answer I like the best. I liked it because she talks about figuring something out, and she talks about the analytical process she went through. But perhaps more interesting to me is that she talks about then convincing people to do something, and the fact that they actually changed behavior, the fact that she can talk about a measurable change because of something she did. However, notice that there's 2 questions that come to my mind when we listen to Gail's answer. One is, it seems a little simplistic that why wouldn't this company have thought about an 8-ounce product before? It seems a little unrealistic that she's the first person to ever come up with that. So maybe she's sort of manufacturing that story. And then a little bit at the end, she talked about the word me a couple times. Once again, not a fatal flaw. I like the story that she went through, but just something we're going to want to pay attention to.